What do you think the first one is? You might guess the second one and, you know, be wrong because you don't even know what's the first one. And she's like, okay, what's the first one? Well, first, I want to have sex with you. And the second is I want you to give me a blowjob. I just love the distinction. It's like so funny. I love that guy. It's so funny, man. That subtleties people just don't like get. Like, it's the little things like that. It's just so funny. I sent that to like a girl who's like liberal out in LA, and she thought that was hilarious. It's funny. It's really funny. The dude's the GOAT. He is such, you know, the arc. People are like talking about Quentin Tarantino. Well, you made it, dude. He was like fucking, like, girls made fun of him, and now bitches are like throwing themselves to get clout, to kind of like push their like brand apparel or like whatever the thing is, where you push like Hailey Bieber's Rhode Cosmetics and they pay you. So they're going to pay someone more who might have like gone out on a date with Clavicular. Like, these type of hoes made fun of him. Clout chasing hoes. That at like the basic level, clout in high school is like being popular without even thinking about bags. You don't even think about money. You're just like, I just want people to hate me, and that'll make me feel better about myself. It's so short-sighted. It's so feminine. Like, women have no concept of like time. You know this because like girls are late constantly. The like girl will be like, a friend of mine in Chicago was late 4 times for her job, and then she got fired, and she was just like so upset. Like, she's like, it's not, you know, not my, like, she had no sense of responsibility. I'm like, if you had a business and someone was late, never mind. But yeah, they just like long-term gratification. Women are kind of like black people in a way when it comes to planning. It's not like when you see a calculated woman, they're freaks. Like Hope Hicks from the Trump administration, the first one who married the Goldman Sachs partner who's like 20 years older than her, who allegedly tried to hire a hitman to kill his stepdad. Like, perfect match. Those people are insane. Hope Hicks, you know, good-looking woman, knows what she wants, and she's up 5:30 in the morning, sending out emails, whatever the fuck. She knows what she wants. There's a lot of pretty girls. But she knows what she wants. But yeah, most women are retarded. And it's dangerous because they want you to be retarded with them. You know, that Cloud could have easily just given into the pussy without thinking about the money. Now he's doing both. He's like, I can have the pussy, film it, and get the money. I can even say, fuck you to bitches. I can just get bitches to like me and say, nope, not you, and pick a different one out of spite, just for the sake of clicks and making it good content, and then have sex with both of them still. The one he missed out on, he'll call her the next night. She'll be begging for it. And the one that he switched her off with will be so happy that she, like, oh, he chose me over that other girl, not knowing he's going to fuck the other girl the next night and, like, whatever. It's just like, switcheroo. I was thinking about was it in a debate with this person on the Battle of the Sexes, Billie Jean King versus Bobby Riggs. Bobby Riggs is a Wimbledon champion, degenerate gambler. Like, he lost $1.7 million of his money gambling in London when he was young, like 23. And at 55, you know, owes the mob, owes some bookies some money, and he smashes Margaret Court in a match. Now, could that have been set up too? Of course. Didn't seem like it, though. Margaret Court seemed visibly upset that he won at 55 versus her prime and number one in the world on the not the WTA. Didn't exist, but like whatever, the women's tour. Or the women's league, if you will. And that set up the Billie Jean King match, which is weird because it's like, why does anyone want to watch a guy beat women? Like, if that was a thing, Dana White would have already done that already. Like, it's just kind of a gross thing. So this person, the conspiracy is that he set up the match to pay off his debt because the odds were basically in Billie Jean King in his favor to win because he crushed the number one player in the world, that he'd beat Billie Jean King. Again, it's a weird setup. Why is this even a bet? The first match against the number one player in the world was there's not enough bookmakers, there's not enough money. This person's arguing that it was just like he lost, fair and square. I'm like, I'm not saying that he can't lose. Most 55-year-olds will lose to superior athletes in general, never mind women. What I'm saying is that this guy just beat the number one player in the world 4 months ago. So he started smoking and drinking in anticipation of a larger potential payday and fucked it up. It just doesn't make any sense, except that the odds were in his favor to bet against himself with the information arbitrage that he's the one playing and can actually lose. It's almost a guarantee. There's all these like books and stuff and quotes from people saying he told them not to bet on him. He said to very wealthy friends, don't bet on me, suggesting that he's trying to square it with the bookies. It's like lock, stock, and two smoking. I got to square it with the bookies. And he did. 90 million people watched that match, Billie Jean King. Not a lot of people watched the court match. If you watch it too, you see a different player, like a slower guy. He really, really messed around. Like his quality of play with court is so obvious. Like the guy can play. And then it's like he was picking. His choice of shot was setting Billie Jean King up to win points, like giving her winners, to where he didn't have to mess up. His neutral shots were really bad. They were like too short, a lob that's short, basically it's like a serve in the middle of the court. Standing outside the doubles alley for a forehand, and she's just going down the tee. Or returning the ball from the doubles alley, and she just can cross court. He can't get to it. He's prepared, overly prepared for a powerful shot, with his forehand, and he's basically blocking the rest of the court. But she just has to go the other way, and she's a professional athlete. She can serve down the tee, and he reaches for it, or she serves to his body. His return is neutral, and she just goes cross court. She wins. It's just like, it's weird. And then he had this weird head jerk when he would like swing, and you'd see his head jerk as if he messed up before he makes contact with the ball a few times. I know it's blurry, 1973. But again, the quality of play from 1973 in the court match to the next match that mattered, where $100,000 was on the winner, it's night and day. It's very weird. And this person's like, well, it's just, you can say what you will, but it's far more likely that he just lost. I'm like, yeah, but I agree most men would lose. It's a more interesting story that he threw the match to pay off his bookies, and basically the WTA Tour as we know it, women's tennis was created from price fixing, from match fixing. Isn't it a more interesting story than a woman beating up an old elderly man? Why is this controversial? It's so weird. What they want to do is like magically say sometimes unbelievable things can happen. I'm like, I don't doubt that. This is not particularly unbelievable. And also, like, it's really interesting how $100,000 was available in the second match of Billie Jean King, but nothing like that in the first. The betting odds went towards King, like, or it became more neutral, like against Riggs, and went for Riggs because he crushed the number one player in the world, and it set up a match where he was in complete control. The value, the positive EV, was 100% because he controlled the outcome. And he's like, why would someone give up $100,000 if it's laid 2.5 to 1 or whatever it was? Say 60% chance of winning. What is that? Like 71% is like 5 to 2. Not like 4.5. Like, basically winning like 1.7x your money. Like, what's wrong with that? Like, why wouldn't you lose on purpose? And this guy's like, well, his reputation. The guy was a degenerate gambler that owed money to bookies. What are you reputation? What are you talking about? It's like, this is a joke. It's so stupid. It's like it's basically a professional athlete playing a civilian when they're 55, and then 70s, It's not like Federer when he's 55, who'll have like already played, like he'll be good at tennis forever. But like Federer, ever play like see a mixed doubles match like for exhibition for the U.S. Open where they like McEnroe is paired with a woman, and then someone else is paired with a woman like Sampras or something, and you see the men like hit towards the women. It's so obvious the power and the talent differential. Like it's just like a different game. The physicality, what they could do to a woman on the court. It's a joke. This person's not even arguing that men are like equal to women in physicality. They're arguing that he simply lost because he was outplayed. I'm like, that's not interesting. I think he would lose if he wasn't, obviously faking it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think he would lose in most times, a guy like that. But he is a Wimbledon champion. He just crushed the best player in the world. The backstory is interesting. To negate it for feminism or something, but while admitting that, yes, most of the time, like a 55-year-old Federer would beat number one in the world, Sablenka. Or they said a 44-year-old because he's like, oh, I've seen him now. I know what Federer will be like at 55. I'm like, I'm pretty sure 55-year-old Federer 10 years from now will still be able to beat Arena Sablenka, whatever her name is. I just believe he will for a number of reasons. Not the least of which is one of the greatest servers of all time won't have to move as much as you think. Women's forehand speed off the first shot is very similar at the Australian Open. It's marginally different, but it's start to think about it more and more. It's like it's highly likely the serve is the biggest problem. There's just biomechanically this more ligaments, like men's serves are more powerful. There's this part of musculature women do not have. The serve in of itself, as long as his serve is good and he plays like he did like against Casper Ruud at the practice match, he's good. I know this is like a little too specific. No one cares about tennis necessarily, but it's just like this exhausting thread with these asshole like weirdos who are just trying to say the guy lost and that conspiracies are weird, but it's so argumentative. It's so effectual. It's like, dude, it's interesting if the guy like was like a gun was to his head and say, you owe us money, you better throw this match. That's way cooler, dude. And he's like, I don't bet on me because he owes money. They're forcing him, kind of like Bruce Willis. Your ass goes down in the second or fourth or whatever it was from Pulp Fiction. Marcellus Wallace says so. Like, that's a more interesting story. Why do you have to negate that? It's not like me thinking men or women are better. It's so stupid. It's like, dude, it's called reality. It's where we live. Come enjoy it. Yeah. So there's that. Women in general, I think, can only create drama. I've recently this week, it's just like people are just making me like stressed out, and it's almost like they want me to be stressed out so that I can like engage with them. It's just like I should just tell you that I don't really care what you think or your friends, or I just don't give a shit. Like, their opinion doesn't matter. This is what women do. They gossip, they do this and that for your attention, and it's like, you realize that this isn't productive for me. It's abusive. It's like making me question myself and all this other stuff. And you all are probably just doing it because you're insecure, selfish, you're jealous, not necessarily of me, but of like money stuff and me taking this girl out. They're like, oh, he's just whatever. And I'm like, dude, this isn't nice stuff. Like, what kind of friends are like jealous that you have a guy that like flies you out or flies first class somewhere with you, or puts you up in a 5-star hotel and takes you to like a tasty menu dinner, and they're like, that's just not you. I'm like, what the fuck? It's your birthday. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, and they're like, oh, he's like just no. Is there a protest outside, dude? Oh. Is it anti-Israel? Oh, hold on. Palestinian protesters. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think the Middle East particularly give a shit about each other when it comes to like the Sunnis versus Shiites and like, oh, they work together. Not the Sunnis and Shiites per se, but Muslims. Saudi Arabia's relationship with Israel and wanting to push the Abraham Accords and like being part of that. It's all fine and good. Everyone's just like down until the Strait of Hormuz is closed, and they're like, well, you know, Israel, maybe back the fuck off and bombing Lebanon and fucking up this peace treaty. Automatic registration for U.S. military draft to begin in December. Automatic military. What is this? From the Hill. Unless you're Jewish, and then you don't have to register because you're one of God's chosen people, and you've already fought a huge battle as a third-generation Holocaust survivor. There's no need to risk your flesh and blood vessel. The selective service system, probably volunteer. The government agency that maintains a database of men be called up to serve in the case of national emergency submitted a proposal. Most men between the age of 18 were already required to register with the selective service, but automatic registration was mandated. Okay, that's cool. Such a tight window, 18 to 25. How about 18 to 35? And what if like you get special compensation if you're married and you hate your wife? Like if you're like 35 and you're like really unhappy with your marriage, you can get a divorce that's backed by the US government as long as you enlist. That would be fuck yeah. Dude, a bunch of simps coming in and like, you know what, I want to change. Instead of buying a boot camp thing where you have to pay like $100,000 and like, we're going to get you 6-pack abs and show what it's like to be a man. That's not your problem. It's like your mentality. You need adventure in your life. To join the fucking military. Fuck yeah. Dude, sign me up. To adjust the hairline down. You know, just like, I'm still young. What's up? Let me clav it up. Hold on. Look at this shit. I'm ready to serve, sir. Ready to kick some Jewish ass. Which part of Israel are we taking? Oh. China? I kind of like the sex tourism, sir. I don't want to attack my babies. I have like a lot of side kids over there. If I'm captured, they're going to turn my penis into like an Asian penis. You know what I mean? It's not fun. I don't want to be over there. But that's interesting. Pete Hexus is a fall guy. He's a fucking moron. He's an idiot. He's like really dumb. And he gets a lot of these speaking engagements, kind of like Rick Santorum back in the day on liberal CNN. So Rick Santorum, as a Republican going on CNN, was designed to make like Republicans look retarded because Rick Santorum is retarded. He's not very well spoken. So he like couldn't get a real job and just became a punching bag for the sake of like an appearance fee. That's really pathetic to personify what it means to be Republican. You notice today he doesn't exist. Like no one gives a fuck about Rick Santorum. Kind of like that Keith Olbermann guy who got really rich somehow and still pops up every once in a while. Kind of like Sam Harris in a way, who's really rich because his mom created Golden Girls. Which is a fucking unbelievable show. It's a good show, but like, a guy who like somehow gets his opinion on, its opinion is so polarized towards hating Trump, which is fair. I actually now think he might be smarter than I am because he's a Hitchinite in a way, which also makes me really concerned about Hitchens in like terms of just like he is Jewish. He found that out later in life, atheist, homosexual, tryouts at Oxford at Balliol College, and like I'm like, oh shit, is everything I like about Hitchens just like perverted in the end, and he's just another sycophant of like softcore Zionism? It's like repackaged to be like, no, I hate the Clintons. I'm not a democratic socialist. I'm a reformed liberal who sees like the elites and the cracks and the kind of like what's his name, Finkelstein, at NYU. It's like that guy, But it's tough. Things change in terms of the propaganda. Like Hitchens was saying at one point that he thought it was kind of a bad idea to have a Jewish state in the middle of a barren desert surrounded by Muslims. So it's like that was probably a bad idea. But now that they're there, I question everything else. And then the admonishing of Islam as being like violent, and I'm like, the precept of this against the backdrop of 9/11, his admittance that admission that it was fraudulent, weapons of mass destruction, all this nonsense, and his condemnation of the Bush family. It's like, it's tough. It's really tough. It's like, what? So in the end, you're an atheist, so you have plausible deniability that you hate all monotheistic religions. But you don't really hate Judaism. You even debated with a rabbi the idea of theology or like ontological arguments, but not like anti-Jew, It's just on the idea of religion, of there being a God, theism, And that just seems like another guy who is astroturf potentially, well-spoken, intelligent, of course, for the sake of like a common good, which is the obfuscation of Jewish power and the destruction of the nuclear family and the promotion of liberal social values. He was a drinker, a womanizer, married to Carol Blue. I had lunch with him. God, I really did admire him. I've lunch with him twice. We had dinner at Bistro Le Peak. It was like a late lunch in Adams Morgan, Georgetown. Where is Bistro? It's on Wisconsin Avenue. It's like up. What is that place called? It's called by this guy Fritz's old. It doesn't matter, but yeah, it's just not everyone. A lot of people have to serve a master, I guess. Even your idols, like they have to take a check. The black guy from Ghostbusters has to go to conventions. Bill Murray doesn't have to do that, but he does. What's his name? The black guy from Ghostbusters. It doesn't matter. The point is I'm still inflamed. Still have an autoimmune disorder. Still frustrated with that. Still not certain whether I'm on the right amount of testosterone. I'm definitely in better shape, but I'm like, does my brain work as well? I have like less of an inclination to do podcasts. Is my speech, my word, what the fuck is his name? I should know his name. See, old me, that is what comes to me. Ghostbusters. Black guy. Let me see. Let's ask. Hey Val. Val, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Bruh. ChatGPT voice is like loading in a weird way these days. You guys get that? Oh, I had it in my head. Like Murphy, black guy, actor, Ghostbusters, Ernie Hudson. I said Murphy. It makes sense. Dude. China is going to merge with Taiwan. That's part of the agreement with Iran. So there's going to be a peace treaty with Ukraine, Russia, that'll be worked out amongst this deal with Iran. I think they ran the Iranian war kind of like counter offensive, which is the BRICs who are going to like create pressure, maybe denominating some of their debt or selling dollar denominated debt, kind causing, wanting like a quid pro quo Taiwan deal, putting pressure here and there, dumping U.S. Treasury bonds while at the same time denominating their own currency in U.S. U.S. dollars, or their debt in U.S. dollars, and then Russia elongating the war for the sake of like securing, I guess, more, not just the territories they've already like won, but maybe even pushing out Zelensky for someone they approve of as a neutral party if they have to. But they didn't take Kiev for this reason. They wanted Iran to be protected because the Iranian-Turkish gas pipeline is very, very important. Because if the capacity were increased from Turkey into the Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Germany, Gazprom, Rosneft, and Russia would be undermined. Their ability to service Europe would be undermined. They'd have a competitor. It would be controlled by the West, and we already saw Argentina fall. We saw, Venezuela oil, known reserves offshore now being kind of like overseen by the U.S. government. But that Tabriz-Ankara, is that what it's called? Tabriz-Ankara pipeline. That's a big deal. You can't have that competing with Russia and then attempt to like undermine the petrodollar. 2007, the two countries that dropped the U.S. dollar for crude barrel, sales, whatever you want to call it, were Iran and Russia. So I think Russia announced that their crude purchases would be settled in Chinese yuan. They're clearly working together. The swap contracts they have with enriched uranium when it was banned from Russia, they had like a international ban on enrichment, SWE. They'd create swap contracts where China would buy Russia's enriched uranium, and then China would export that. It's unclear whether it was Chinese or a Russian's product after the fact. Doesn't really matter at that point. There's nothing you can do. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy bitches online. My friend played poker 1,000, 2,000 heads up with Alan Keating. Is that his name? Alan Keating? It's crazy. 1,000, 2,000 heads up. I remember I had like 25 G's in front of me, and he is like licking his chops when we first met. I was such a mark. So bad. I do like people that dress up at the poker table. Is like effectually or not effectually. I think it's good that people dress up and try to. I wear shorts more than I should. I don't wear t-shirts as much as I used to. Thank God. But people need to try harder. Nick Fuentes is right about that. But in general, like after 6 o'clock, if you're going to dinner, you really should wear fucking pants. Like I've been telling people that. We don't need Nick Fuentes to say that. Like that is just a thing that's been wrong well before Nick Fuentes was born. It's like been bad for a while. Past 30 years, it's been bad. Hip hop culture, I don't know what you want to call it. Hip hop culture is not even black. It's just like Jewish secularism. It's like it's a commodified form of black culture that's like set in like kind of a stitch in time, and they've like sold it for a while, like FUBU, like that variant of just like this subculture of dress and music. It still exists. It's disgusting. And there's like this weird Joe Rogan variant of that for goy, like middle class white America. It's like disgusting too. It's like basically dressing like Joe Rogan, just really bad. And if you're as tall as Joe Rogan, it looks horrible. Like Joe Rogan should dress like Silvio Berlusconi. That's who he should dress like. Like how tall is Silvio Berlusconi? I mean, can we like look that up? Silvio height. I've seen Joe Rogan's motorcycle outside of his place in the back of the of 6th Street in Austin. It's so low to the ground, you're not sure if it's a Power Wheel. You're not sure if that guy that played Mini-Me from Austin Powers or Vern Troyer, rest in peace, or maybe the troll guy from Willow, yeah, that, or another small person like the Leprechaun or the guy from Game of Thrones. The guy from Game of Thrones who told like people that the new Snow White and Seven Dwarfs should just not be cast by dwarfs. It should be cast by regular people because it like implies like, I don't know. It's like it pushes dwarfism or something, or like it pushes like racism toward dwarf. Very weird. But then there's a bunch of dwarf actors that couldn't get a job. Like, dude, fuck you. I need to feed. My kids need new sneakers. Like, you know, like it's very expensive. They're overpriced. I have to go to they're little people too. I have to go to like the kids store. And it's like they're overpriced as it is, and I have to get 7 of them because I like to smash. And my ex-wife used to be like in a weird, you know, kind of fetish porn star. A lot of black guys. I have 2 of them. They're normal size, so I have to get big Jordans for them. And I've like adopted them because I have this weird cuckold thing now, like a cuckold dwarf. And like I want the Seven Dwarfs job. What is his name? See, it's a brain thing. Yeah, come on. What's his name? What is going on? Little person. Peter Dinklage. Yeah, Peter. Like, let the little people do shit. There's the head of the Athletic Dwarf Association in Russia was trying to stop like dwarfs from competing in all sorts of sports, calling it barbaric. I'm like, you know, they could win money. Like, let them win money. Like, what is this? Like, why is there even a bureaucracy controlling dwarfs? Like, how many dwarfs are there, and how many of them are like interesting enough or talented enough to play basketball or water polo and not drown? You'd think they just sink because there's just not enough buoyant. Like this thing, when you're like treading, theirs is like a little. That's dangerous. But let them make that decision. There's a pioneer. He went in. He dived. He sunk. He drowned. Okay, now they know. You don't need to be involved. A woman, a normie woman telling dwarfs what to do. Little people, excuse me. I think her title was Yolana, head of the Athletic Dwarf or Little Person. No, I think they call them dwarfs. Dwarf Association in Russia, because they don't think dwarf is pejorative. It's also really, it's dead on. It's like dwarfs and little people are those different things. No, they're the same, and they were available to be casted in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the live remake, and instead they use regular people or children who are just like fake dwarfs, which is fucked up. Isn't the whole progressive thing like you shouldn't have like non-disabled people play disabled people? Like the guy from Breaking Bad actually did have cerebral palsy. He just like accentuated it for the show. Fuck you, dads. Like, dude, he got you like a trust fund, like $10 million in the end. What an ungrateful piece of shit. I would have taken one of his fucking like hand crutches or arm. I just smacked that guy up the face. I would like fucked his mom with it in front of him. She loves this shit. We do this while you're sleeping. No. Yeah, fuck you, piece of shit. I fucked like double teamed his mom, both the crutches, like one on her ass, like one on her pussy, just like tromboning it. Yeah, you look at it, keep your eyes open, you fuck. Yeah. I'm not gonna get banned. I'm fine. Yeah, it just feels like there's just this blockage, you know? I got really fatigued years ago after the Freon exploded in my face. After serotonin syndrome, I had a can of Freon explode in my face. And I just got really tired. And like achy, and my brain didn't work. And I knew that it was like autoimmune related or something. Microglia excitation. Sorry for the darkness. I'm just checking Kick making sure that I'm actually live and I'm not talking to myself, even though I'm probably am because no one watches this, but you know what I mean. That's so slow. There's like a lot of lag. Is that, oh, maybe I should take off my trading thing. It's probably not a good idea. Yeah. Once I'm done, I should probably stop looking at it after a while. I just have it up. It just takes up a lot of the power of this powerful computer I have. You know? It just takes up a lot of the power. A lot of the memory. I gotta try that like Mac Mini. No, I want a Mac Studio. I want it fully maxed out. And I want it to cost basically the cost of like a Chinese EV, which is why they're not here, because they would just fuck everything up. I got to work on the Chinese LLM proprietary models that are open source, like Kimi 2.5. I want to like see the other ones and like really, is there a Kimi 3.5 now? Just like fuck Anthropic, fuck all of them. Claude's really good, right? It's really good. And it's eating ChatGPT's lunch because ChatGPT is just too basic. Like the LLM is too generic. It's not that interesting. I pay for both, but I just think it's because I should use open code and I'm just too lazy. I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna go. And it's too dark. I don't want to turn the lights on. I just want to have dinner. Think about stuff. All right. Peace. Bye.